Shoot Your Shot, Chapter 2. Take responsibility for your own outcomes. Accountability is essential to personal growth as well as team growth. How can you improve if you are never wrong? If you don't admit a mistake and take accountability for it, you're bound to make the same mistake once again. Pat Summitt, 8-time NCAA women's basketball champion as a coach, 7-time NCAA Coach of the Year, second most career wins in NCAA Division I history, and the Naismith Coach of the 20th Century. So that was a quote. After virtually every NBA game, media personnel interview the coaches and players from both the winning and the losing teams. When coaches or players from the losing team are interviewed, more often than not, they will attribute the loss to missteps made by the team as a whole, or proceed to place the full responsibility of the loss on themselves. Nevertheless, in rare instances, we see players and coaches place the blame for a loss on bad calls made by the referee, an opposing player, their teammates, the fans, the court, the arena, the rim, or the ball. Anybody or anything other than where the responsibility actually falls upon themselves. As expected, that team usually does not accomplish their goal of winning a championship or even make the playoffs for that matter, because they fail to take responsibility for their circumstances. Nothing can ever be changed in your life unless responsibility is assigned to the appropriate party, and the appropriate party in every instance is always you. You are currently in this stage of life because you and only you. Some of us refuse to accept this. We've convinced ourselves that it is everyone and everything else's fault for our current standing in life. In order to progress in life and get out of the current circumstances you may find yourself in, you have to take responsibility for everything that has happened up to this point in your life. Own up to your own stuff. The failed relationships, the struggling business, your inability to get a job or a promotion, not meeting your weight loss or fitness goals, not making the team, not graduating from high school or college, not going on that dream trip. In every situation that you find yourself in, you are always the common denominator. Therefore, you and only you have the power to transform the outcomes in your life. When you accept that you are the master of your own fate, you will then be able to make the necessary changes that will propel your life to the next level. But first, you have to get out of your own way. Getting out of your own way not only means removing limitations and getting out of a toxic headspace, as we discussed in the previous chapter. It also means accepting responsibility for everything that has happened up to this point and everything that is currently going on in your life. When you place the blame for your circumstances on everyone and everything else, you are basically saying you have no control over anything that happens in your life, even though this particular life experience is specific to you. Too often we place the blame on outside factors for our own lack of attaining certain things, or make excuses for why things don't go the way we want them to. If my job paid me more, I could afford the lifestyle I want. If I didn't have all these kids and family members to take care of, then I'd have time to follow my dreams. No jobs will hire me because the man is holding me down. My parents didn't prepare me for school or help with my homework, so that's why I'm failing. My body's metabolism isn't the same as it was when I was younger, so it's impossible to get this weight off me. They treat me terribly and isn't willing to change, that's why the relationship isn't working. Yada, yada, yada. Excuse after excuse. We're all guilty. No one is exempt. Countless times we've used excuses to some extent to avoid responsibility for our outcomes. Taking the lines directly from the poem Excuses. Excuses are tools of incompetence, used to build bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothingness, and those who use them seldom specialize in anything else. If you don't want to put in the necessary work to change your circumstances, making illegitimate excuses is probably the best thing you could ever do. Making an excuse and misplacing blame are active ways of avoiding taking responsibility and holding yourself accountable. Excuses spare you from really evaluating yourself and your approach to a specific situation. They also hinder growth and block you from your potential. Be prepared to remain right where you are because you cannot progress in life by continually making excuses or placing unnecessary blame on others. You think that just because I'm writing this, I'm exempt? Not at all. In high school, I finally began coming into my own as a basketball player. However, I thought I deserved more recruiting interest than I was generating. At the end of my senior season, I didn't receive one scholarship offer to play collegiately. And so my very own blame game commenced. I mean, it couldn't have been me. No, I did everything in my power to earn an athletic scholarship, so it had to be someone, if not everybody else's fault. I blamed my coaches for not advocating on my behalf and for not doing enough to market me to college basketball programs. I blamed my father for not sending me to top camps or signing me up for AAU teams. I blamed a former teammate for transferring to another school because when he left, college coaches stopped coming to our games. I even blamed my mother for being 5'3" because if she was just a couple inches taller, I would have been at least 6 foot, and without a doubt, I would be getting recruited by all the top basketball programs in the nation. Scratch that. I may even have gone straight from high school to the NBA had she been taller. I am not making this up. This was really what I thought. I made excuses and placed unwarranted blame on others because, in all actuality, I knew deep down that I really didn't do everything in my power to play basketball at the next level. Truth be told, I was good, but I wasn't that good. I didn't work on my game like I should have, until it was too late. I didn't save money or raise funds in order to sponsor my own way to camps, into leagues, or onto an AAU team. I didn't talk to my coach or my athletic director regularly in order to map out an approach to get coaches to come to my high school games and see me play. I didn't reach out to my coaching staffs personally or attempt to build a good rapport with them. I can go on and on with a laundry list of things I didn't do, but point blank, I just didn't handle my business like I was supposed to. As opposed to being painfully truthful and honest with myself at the time, I looked for external entities to confront and blame. And because I opted to place blame everywhere else instead of doing what was necessary on my own, I found myself in the predicament that I was in, not being recruited to play basketball collegiately. I was the sole person responsible for my circumstances, no matter how much I tried to avoid this reality. The moment you accept responsibility for your current standing, you are then in a position to fully take charge of your life and change the things that you view as unfavorable. Do what is necessary in order to achieve your goals without assigning blame to external entities when things don't go your way. You are in full control of your life. Get rid of excuses. Stop playing the blame game. Stop playing the victim. Take 100% responsibility for your life. Only then you will be able to achieve the results that you desire.